the tech session, and thank you for having me here. Thank you to IEEE and the organizers of this conference for having me here. We had a very fruitful roundtable. We had 12 participants: Dr. Aisha, Dr. Jaya, Smita, Soumya, Indu, faculty members of IHRD colleges, very smart kids from Artingal Engineering College, Atul, Abin, Albin, Alif, and Adityan. And we were debating, we were discussing and debating on different aspects of Gen AI. And we started with this note saying the way I look at Gen AI is Gen AI has democratized access to technology. I cannot create a good cartoon, but now I can ask Gen AI to create a cartoon. So is a picture. So it is democratizing technology, made access possible, the AI access possible to many. That's one side. So our topic, specific topic assigned to us is AI, Gen AI, the future of influence of generative AI on research and academic integrity. That was the topic assigned to our round table. The first question that we asked, we looked at it from 3 dimensions. The first question was from the opportunity dimension. What are the potential opportunities that do we have in research when it comes to Gen AI? And there were many interesting dimensions that came up. The first one, as always, is in the discovery process. Can you use AI, Gen AI, to discover new things, right? Right from in research, we call it a literature survey of the available literature. Can we use Gen AI in the context of literature survey? Can we identify opportunities? Can we analyze data, right? The data that we collected? Can we go beyond and look at semantics of this data? And we also looked at, when it comes to opportunity, we said what are the potential tools that we can use, right from some of the tools that Professor mentioned in his keynote speech. Things like discovery, perplexity came into semantic, search capability. Semantic search is enabled even by the new age search engines now. So discovery is one way. Can we go beyond discovery? Can we analyze the research data that we have collected? Yes, we can use tools like lens.io. It tells you these are the topics being discussed, these are the areas from which these are publication in terms of geographies and many such analytical insights we can get. Can we go beyond and can we look at a little of at least topic-wise semantics? Yes, we have tools in the space, including, I'm sure, most of the researchers must have used free tools like Research Rabbit, and of course, things like connected papers. So we can use the opportunity space is discovery, analysis, going beyond representation. Can we use AI tool, Gen AI tools to represent data? Yes, we can use it for creating summaries. So opportunity space is big. Tools are available. And the next question that we asked is, as I said in the beginning, this has given access, democratized access. Does this enable interdisciplinary research? That is the next question that we asked. And all of us are aware that during our pandemic, drug discovery process used a lot of AI. Identification of new chemical structures or computational drug design, you can use. And AI in health is a huge opportunity. Now, doctors have access to AI. Can they ask the right set of questions to the images or probably, see, one of the questions that came up in one of the recent discussions that I had with doctors is, the data that comes to the doctor's table is episodical, right? You get episodical data. Can I get a continuum of data? Can the data avatar be leveraged by AI? Can AI be leveraged in the context of material sciences? Can we do a lot of digital twin-based analysis of materials and composites and things of that kind? And then we go to the table, to the actual laboratory only with computed results. Can we spend money only when real material, money on materials only when we have at least some insights. So interdisciplinary research is also enabled. Opportunity space is pretty big. Yes. So research, in the context of research, Gen AI gives a lot of opportunities. Tools are out there. Interdisciplinary is a potential area. Having said that, the next dimension, beyond opportunity, do we have to look into ethical dimensions? And we had some very insightful thoughts from the students in this dimension, on the ethical dimension. I want to continue the the mention that Mr. Vinod did here on ethical and compliance. You have rules out there and you comply to the rules. You do things as per the rule, right? You do things in the right way. That's rules. Ethical is a little beyond. Is doing the right thing, right? How do you enable people to do the right thing in that particular context? And in that context, some of the students asked very, very interesting thoughts, right? You have this GenAI tool which is trained on large volumes of data. Is it a smarter way of doing creating plagiarized content? Are you creating pattern analysis and structure building on large volume of data and you have a smarter way of plagiarizing content? Is that an ethical concern? Because there is already some legal litigations happening in this space where people are saying, hey, they've used my data to create your AI, right? That's one of the first questions that from the ethical dimension that students have come out with, and I was very happy to hear it from the student side. So you need to doubt. The second concern that was raised is on ghostwriting. Ghostwriting is already a practice. We know that we can create publishing factories and publish 5 publications, create 5 research publications every other day. And that's happening at scale in India or abroad. I mean, it's a practice in many systems. And with the new avatar, the AI in place, Gen AI in place, which can create content, probably even hallucinate, are you aiding that context of ghostwriting? That is the next ethical concern that some of our students have raised. Another thing is another ethical concern that people have raised, students and even the faculty members have raised, is leveraging AI in dangerous context, right? And this concern has been raised even by many of our industry leaders also. You have now the co-pilot. We live in the world of co-pilot, but it's not the pilot. You make movie with AI, Gen AI, and you still need that human to enjoy that movie. That's the context we are in. And now we are actually enabling AI to look at all possibilities and leverage it for dangerous purposes. Is there an ethical concern? Definitely there is an ethical concern. That's another concern that discussion came up. And there was another, concern about leveraging AI in the context of generative AI, in the context of research which affects citizens' lives. Very specifically, people said, even the students, and one of the students was very particular on judicial systems. You leverage AI, Gen AI context in judicial, anything that touches human lives, let it be judicial or healthcare or even in education. Unless otherwise you have the right set of measures in place, and unless you have the right set of questions being asked, do we have to worry about that dimension of AI? And can it can it deprive, right, certain rights that the Constitution guarantees to the individual citizen? So Gen AI in research, specifically when you're advancing research which touches human lives, right, society, do we have to have that concern? These were the major ethical concerns that people have raised in the context of research, ethics in research when it leverages Gen AI. That was the second dimension. So we started with opportunity, ethical, and the third dimension is when it comes to safeguarding, right? How do we safeguard? And to my surprise, again, very interesting thoughts came up over the round table. I would want to start with the first one, right? There is this animal called generative AI, capable of doing certain things, and it says, I can do these things, and I've been trained on such data. The first safeguard that the student suggested was, hey, why don't you ask people to publish that data and say that this is the data on which this AI is created. And beyond that, they should also be able to tell that this particular behavior is because I have used a certain way of training this AI using this data. Can all these come to public, knowledge, know-how? Beyond publishing that experience or the code, you publish data and also explanation around the behavior on the data as well as the procedure that you have used to train this AI. That is the first safeguard that the students have suggested. Another safeguard that was again interesting. This was, see, if there are ethical concerns in the context of humans, why can't we have similar guidelines for AI agents also? Right? And European regulation which came out early this year, going to be in effect, I think August of 26, which probably will become the golden standard, and the US executive order in 23. Right? Can we include AI agent also? Can we say that when AI is building an experience, AI should say, right? Yeah, I behave so because this was the data point which I have used as a reference, or this is abstraction on which can we make it explainable? This is how collaborate. These are my collaborators in the AI space, including human and the agents, and that is why I behave like this. One step further, can we ask this question? Can you tell me how do you take decisions? Can you make these models interpretable? Unfortunately, most of these Gen AI tools are built on large networks, artificial neural networks, mimicking the brain, and we are still figuring out how the brain works, right? Right? And in this context, you have this black box, huge black box, computation enabled by Jensen and the gang through NVIDIA. And we can create large network of weights, and then this experience. Can you ask that network, tell me your process of creating this experience? Can I interpret your behavior? Right? That was a big ask, and the suggestion over the table was we should ask the agent to at least able to explain your decision making procedure, right, which is interpretability. And that was the major points from the safeguarding perspective and balancing between innovation and the need for innovation and enablement, and the use of AI in the wrong dimension. The general consensus was it is more of a human decision. When you say bias in AI, understand that bias is there in the society. Right? At least when you build an AI on this data, which is collected from a context where there is bias, the AI should not at least amplify the bias. At least amplify the bias. Such guarantees has to be in place. So the general conclusion is Gen AI is a good tool. Use it with awareness. Ethical concerns are still getting addressed. Safeguarding is possible. Regulations are interesting, but the human mind would have more power to use it judiciously in the context of research also. With that, thank you very much for the patient listening and the opportunity.